Russia's invasion of Ukraine has shattered the peace in Europe. This is the largest land war in Europe since World War II. The Kremlin's actions have been met with global condemnation. However, Russia seems undeterred. Recent events suggest that the conflict may escalate further. Russia has launched large-scale air attacks on Ukrainian cities. These attacks target civilian infrastructure. This includes power grids and water systems. Ukraine is fighting back. They have conducted daring drone strikes inside Russia. These attacks show Ukraine's resolve. It also highlights Russia's vulnerability. The situation remains tense and unpredictable. The potential for further escalation is very real. Russia's actions have raised alarms across the world. Many fear that Ukraine is just the beginning. Where might Russia set its sights next? This question weighs heavily on the minds of policymakers and analysts. Several factors influence Russia's strategic calculus. This includes historical grievances, proximity to Russia, and the presence of Russian-speaking populations. Examining these factors can shed light on potential targets. Understanding potential targets is crucial. It helps NATO and its allies prepare for future threats. It is important to remember that this is not an exhaustive list. Russia's actions are often unpredictable. The Baltic states of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are particularly vulnerable. These small nations, nestled on NATO's eastern frontier, have a unique geopolitical significance. Their strategic location makes them a focal point in the ongoing tensions between NATO and Russia. They were once part of the Soviet Union. The legacy of Soviet rule still lingers, influencing the political and social landscape of these countries. The memories of occupation and the struggle for independence are still fresh in the minds of many. They have significant Russian-speaking minorities. These communities, while integral to the cultural fabric of the Baltic states, also present a complex challenge. The presence of these minorities has been a point of contention and a potential lever for Russian influence. This makes them prime targets for Russia's hybrid warfare tactics. Hybrid warfare is a blend of conventional military force and unconventional tactics, including cyber warfare, disinformation, and economic pressure. These tactics include disinformation campaigns and cyber attacks. By spreading false information and launching cyber attacks, Russia aims to destabilize these nations and undermine their governments. Russia has already demonstrated its willingness to use military force against its neighbors. The aggressive actions in Georgia and Ukraine are stark reminders of Russia's military capabilities and its readiness to use them. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 proved this. This bold move by Russia sent shockwaves through the international community and highlighted the vulnerability of neighboring regions. The Baltic states are now on high alert. They have ramped up their military readiness, conducting regular drills and exercises to prepare for any potential threats. They are strengthening their defenses. Investments in modern military equipment and defense systems are a priority, ensuring they can respond swiftly to any aggression. They are working closely with NATO allies. Collaboration and joint exercises with NATO forces are crucial for maintaining a robust defense posture. NATO has a strong presence in the Baltics. The alliance's commitment to the security of these states is evident through the deployment of troops and establishment of military bases. The alliance has deployed troops and equipment to the region. This deployment serves as both a deterrent and a reassurance to the Baltic states. This is a clear signal to Russia. The message is unequivocal. Any attempt to destabilize or threaten the sovereignty of a NATO member will be met with a unified and forceful response. Any aggression against a NATO member will be met with a swift and decisive response. The readiness and resolve of NATO's rapid response forces underscore the alliance's commitment to collective defense and the protection of its members. Moldova is another potential flashpoint. This small nation borders Ukraine to the southwest. It hosts a Russian-backed breakaway region called Transnistria. Russian troops are already stationed in Transnistria. This raises concerns about Russia opening a new front against Ukraine. Moldova is not a NATO member. This makes it more vulnerable to Russian pressure. However, the West is providing support to Moldova. This includes financial aid and military equipment. The situation in Moldova is precarious. Renewed conflict would have devastating consequences for the region. It would further destabilize Eastern Europe. It would draw NATO into a wider conflict with Russia. Section 5, Georgia, Unfinished Business from 2008. Russia's war with Georgia in 2008 is a stark reminder of its imperial ambitions. Russia still occupies the Georgian regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. It continues to support separatist movements in these regions. Georgia aspires to join NATO. This ambition angers Russia. Russia views NATO expansion as a direct threat. Tensions between Russia and Georgia remain high. There is a risk of renewed conflict. The West is providing support to Georgia. This includes military training and financial assistance. However, Georgia remains vulnerable to Russian aggression. The international community must remain vigilant. Section 6. The Arctic, a new frontier for great power rivalry. The Arctic is becoming increasingly important in global politics. This region, once considered a frozen wasteland, is now at the center of international attention. This is due to climate change. The rapid melting of ice caps is transforming the Arctic landscape, making it more accessible than ever before. Melting ice is opening up new shipping routes and access to natural resources. These new routes could significantly shorten global shipping times, making them highly valuable. Russia has significant interests in the Arctic. The country sees the region as a key area for expanding its influence and securing its economic future. Russia has been increasing its military presence in the Arctic. This includes building new bases and upgrading existing ones to support its strategic goals. It has reopened Soviet-era military bases. These bases, once abandoned, are now being revitalized to serve modern military needs. It has deployed new weapon systems. These include advanced missile systems and other military hardware designed to operate in the harsh Arctic conditions. This has sparked concerns about a new Cold War in the Arctic. The military buildup by Russia is reminiscent of the Cold War era, raising tensions among other Arctic nations. NATO is also stepping up its activities in the Arctic. The alliance is keen to counterbalance Russia's growing influence in the region. The alliance is conducting more military exercises in the region. These drills are designed to improve readiness and demonstrate NATO's commitment to defending its member states' interests. It is also increasing its intelligence-gathering capabilities. Advanced surveillance technologies are being deployed to monitor activities in the Arctic more closely. The Arctic is likely to become a more contested region in the coming years. As nations vie for control over this strategically important area, the potential for conflict increases, making it a critical focus for global security. Section 7. Cyber warfare, a silent but potent threat. Russia is a major player in cyber warfare. Over the past decade, it has honed its cyber capabilities, making it a formidable force in the digital realm. It has used cyber attacks to target its adversaries. These attacks are often sophisticated and well-coordinated, aiming to destabilize and disrupt. This includes attacks on government institutions, critical infrastructure, and financial systems. The goal is to create confusion, fear, and uncertainty among the populace. These attacks can disrupt societies and sow chaos. They can bring down power grids, halt financial transactions, and even interfere with democratic processes. Russia's cyber capabilities pose a serious threat to the West. Western nations are increasingly aware of the potential for cyber warfare to cause significant harm. NATO is working to strengthen its cyber defenses. This includes investing in advanced technologies and training personnel to respond to cyber threats effectively. It is also developing its own offensive cyber capabilities. These capabilities are designed to deter potential aggressors and, if necessary, launch counterattacks. This is to deter and respond to Russian aggression in cyberspace. By building robust defenses and offensive tools, NATO aims to protect its member states. Cyber warfare is a new and evolving domain of conflict. Unlike traditional warfare, it is fought in the shadows, often without clear rules or boundaries. It is difficult to attribute attacks. Hackers can mask their identities, making it challenging to determine who is behind an attack. It is challenging to establish international norms of behavior. Countries have different views on what constitutes acceptable behavior in cyberspace. This makes cyber warfare a particularly dangerous threat. Without clear rules and accountability, the potential for escalation and unintended consequences is high. Section 8. NATO's response. Preparing for the unthinkable. Russia's aggression has galvanized NATO. The alliance is now taking steps to strengthen its defenses. This includes increasing its military spending. It is deploying more troops to its eastern flank. It is modernizing its military capabilities. NATO is also working to enhance its resilience. This includes improving its ability to withstand cyber attacks. It is also working to secure its supply chains. It is also working to counter Russian disinformation. NATO is a defensive alliance. It does not seek confrontation with Russia. However, NATO is prepared to defend its members. It will respond to any attack on a member state. Section 9. The global impact, a world on edge. Russia's war in Ukraine has had a profound impact on the world. It has led to a sharp increase in global tensions. It has exacerbated existing geopolitical fault lines. It has also had a devastating humanitarian impact. The war has also disrupted global energy markets. It has led to higher food prices. It has also disrupted supply chains. This has had a negative impact on the global economy. The war is a reminder of the interconnectedness of the world. The war is a tragedy for Ukraine. It is also a tragedy for Russia. It is a tragedy for the world. Section 10. The need for dialogue and diplomacy. The current situation is dangerous. However, it is not hopeless. Dialogue and diplomacy are essential to prevent further escalation. The international community must continue to engage with Russia. This will not be easy. Russia has shown little interest in meaningful dialogue. However, it is important to keep channels of communication open. The stakes are too high to do otherwise. The world needs a new security architecture. This architecture must be based on dialogue, cooperation, and respect for international law. This is the only way to ensure lasting peace and security.